Tzu Chi volunteers in Northern California help fire victims get the help they need to begin their recovery. Tzu Chi volunteers in Canada help settle in 3 refugee families from Africa, ensuring they are taken care of. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shoda. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in the United States, where after Tzu Chi volunteers received a name list of victims affected by the Northern California wildfires, they began calling them to listen to their needs. As many of the families were unprepared for this disaster, the volunteers knew emergency aid relief or what the impacted need the most to begin their recovery process. Wildfires ripped through Napa Valley, California, the wine country.
It was really windy, and that's when we saw the whole other side of the valley on fire. And it was the whole string of hills for miles.
Yeah, they shut the roads off, and the fires got huge. We didn't know what to do. It was chaos. It was chaos.
We got an alert on our phone for our neighborhood, and it was a mandatory evacuation, and then an hour later, our whole neighborhood was on fire.
We were like rescued by helicopter. If they didn't rescue us, maybe I wasn't here. Yeah, that was very scary night.
It was really hard to see the photo of my house turned to ash, but there's nothing you can do about it. That was really hard. I have to keep going. We have been looking for help everywhere.
Meanwhile, the Tzu Chi volunteers are busy calling those impacted by the fire at Napa Local Assistance Center.
You just ask for Tzu Chi Foundation. When you see our sign, you can come in. We have a bunch of volunteers here to help you out.
I've called about 30 people today. There are about 10 of them who can come in today. I'll just continue and hope they can all make it.
Okay, right before the fire, I see. Very lucky.
Through the intake process where we engage with them and talk, they're needing someone to listen to what happened, and also people who will listen and try to help them in their recovery. So we found that the best, most effective method right now to help them is to give them emergency cash assistance through a debit card, and then they can buy whatever food that they need, whatever clothes that they need.
We're just trying to figure out what to do. They've helped me a lot, and they've made me feel loved and like family. And the Tzu Chi Foundation has really shown me that there's some good people left.
I never thought I'd have to ask for help, and I never thought I'd get it like this, thanks to the foundation. This building and these people and you people have provided the most comforting. We both thank you from our hearts.
I've never had to ask for help, and now we need money for clothes and food, and the Tzu Chi is helping us today. And it was a huge help that I was not expecting. And we're just so grateful. So we couldn't have done all of this without you. I feel like I can do the rest of the day now. So thank you so much for the gift card.
This is a real bank. No one to say, put your money here. Just an open top, an open lid, at my own will, at my own heart. But I know I have a bank now.
Thank you for everything, all the people who's been helping us. I'm very thankful and blessed with all your volunteers. They are very kind and peaceful and helpful. I'm gonna pray for you guys, that you can help more people that is in need. Thank you very much.
As Tzu Chi's disaster assessment team continues their quake survey in Mexico, today we meet a local volunteer, Brenda Narciso. Although her own family was hurt during the quake, she still felt the urge to contribute what she can. In doing so, her own distressed heart has also been calmed. In the aftermath of the quake, Brenda Narciso's home is no longer her safe haven.
The day of the quake, members of my family was hurt by a fallen fence. My brother was sent to the hospital. I saw so many people injured, and seeing the situation, I made a decision to help out at the hospital. I asked the hospital superintendent to see how I can help. They're helping my brother, so I felt the obligation to reciprocate. I told myself there's a reason why I'm still alive. I need to help my people. When I heard my neighbors needed assistance, I began there. It was there that I met Tzu Chi and began volunteer work.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Brenda Narciso, soy originaria de acá del pueblo. Venimos ahorita representando a lo que es la Fundación Tzu Chi de Taiwán.
La grieta se partió.
Ok. Está suerte.
Claro que sí.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Mi familia, estamos en la mayor disposición de apoyar. Mientras respiren, hay vida.
My family and I are all willing to help as long as we're breathing. There are so many things to fight for in life still. The support that Tzu Chi gives us is so great that I have no way to repay everything you're doing for us. I feel really honored of being able to help you. I won't let you down. As long as there's a need, I'll continue on.
Moving our focus to Southeast Asia, Tzu Chi volunteers participated in Thailand's 5-day farewell ceremony for the late King of Thailand by preparing vegetarian lunches for the public.
A funeral for the late Thai King Bhumibol Adulyadej included a great deal of organization as all attendees were asked to wear black as they waited in long queues to pay their respects.
When the king died, I was doing rehabilitation for my back surgery, and I couldn't go to the palace to pay my respects. Today is the last farewell, so I tried very hard to come here as I left the house at 6 o'clock in the morning.
95-year-old Sayud Fongfong has experienced 5 Thai kings in her lifetime, as all 9 members of her family came to pay their respects.
At 5 o'clock we came here as we are very grateful to the king and wanted to pay tribute to him.
Tzu Chi volunteers assisted at the event, preparing 500 vegetarian lunch boxes.
I'm glad to have this opportunity to show our respect for the King of Thailand, also our love for Thailand and the Thai people. This comes from our hearts.
With many citizens coming forward to pay their final tribute, a number of volunteers took this opportunity to do good deeds as a way to honor and respect the late Thai king.
The first domestic company to launch live streaming in Taiwan was founded in 2014 to little fanfare, and it wasn't until the Sunflower Movement in March of that same year when this act became more popular. Then in 2016, Facebook in Taiwan launched a live stream function, with YouTube following suit. It can be said that the year 2016 is the beginning of live streaming in Taiwan.
In March 2014, a group of students stormed the legislature to launch a large-scale social movement. It was the first time a U.S. live streaming platform was used to broadcast the entire event. It was an unprecedented event in Taiwan, and the success of the broadcast was also a boost for local live streaming.
It was also a live event, and this broadcast was used for educational purposes, which was the first time that it was used this way in this market.
That year, in fact, was the first year that a large-scale live streaming company entered Taiwan. Due to this social movement generating lots of publicity, the development of live streaming in Taiwan can be divided into 3 stages. The social movement in 2014 coincided with the Twitch gaming live streaming platform acquired by Amazon. In 2015, another live stream platform was established in Taiwan, and in April 2016, Facebook started its live function. And the same year, YouTube also enabled live broadcasts. The establishment of these major broadcast platforms leads many to believe that 2016 was the real start of live streaming in Taiwan.
Facebook has 100% coverage in Taiwan, with some 18 million unique users each month who know about live streaming now.
Tzu Taeyang is one of the founders of Taiwan's first live stream platform. Live stream platforms have quickly sprung up in the last 2 years. In 2016, his company started their B2B business and became one of the earliest live service providers. Hosts and judges talk with one another as this live stream covers a 6-city video game competition, attracting the interest of gamers around Taiwan.
This 6-city competition averaged around 10,000 to 15,000 people online at the same time, with page views per city numbering 100,000 to 200,000.
The boom in live streaming is partly driven by business opportunities. It is not just a lot of people being curious about live streaming, but Zheng's company is also curious about business opportunities.
它这一组叫做花的线条，其实我会觉得我们自己取名字都还蛮有意境的。
The country's largest portal and auction platform also began introducing live streaming in April this year.
There are a lot of sellers who believe that their live performances can help generate sales. This leads them to consider doing more regular live performances, such as once a week.
甚至有天天开播的这些卖家都有。
In the past, online auction sites only used photos and text to introduce their goods. However, the advent of live streaming can encourage sellers to be more active in promoting their products to consumers. At the moment, there are more than 1,000 sellers who use live streaming.
In fact, more interaction creates more growth. When compared to typical websites, this one is much more lively and not so boring.
像一般网络平台可能是比较死气沉沉的。
Mr. Guo began live streaming and his sales doubled. His factory even built a small studio. In addition to individual sellers, a number of shopping platforms have even built their own professional studio. A variety of special effects helps as live streaming entice the audience. Furthermore, messages on the screen can get an immediate reaction.
I think the audience is like a big family. I like to think that I'm next to them and they are next to me when I present these products.
This program is part of this online shopping platform, and the live broadcast takes place every week, finding a celebrity host and special seasonal themes. In the 8 episodes, the number of click-through rates have already broke through 5 million people.
Consumers are actually becoming more and more fragmented. They may actually follow their own interest, but I believe the live streaming won't be replaced as it is actually an important medium.
10 years ago was largely attributed as the beginning of the internet. In 2014, with 4G firmly established, another wave swept through with more and more content. Some believe that last year, 2016, was actually the start of live streaming. Many are bracing for the impact upon society and its changes that will bring to traditional media.
Recently, a few refugee families from Africa have arrived in Canada, and as they don't have government subsidies for the first year, Tzu Chi volunteers have helped them by donating some secondhand furniture and clothes, hoping these refugees can feel the love and warmth of the Canadian people. These men aren't professional movers, but nonetheless they are careful in making sure each of the furniture is handled with love, as they are being given to 3 African refugee families.
They have just arrived here for about a month. They've stayed in the refugee camps in various places for about 8 to 10 years. Their children, as you will see, were all born in the refugee camps.
Using the chapter's van, Burnaby Tzu Chi volunteers head to 15 homes to pick up the donated secondhand furniture, which included living room table, children's desk, mattress, and closets. In total, it took the volunteers 9 trips to deliver it all to the different refugees' homes. Afterwards, the volunteers also share what they have learned during this aid relief.
If in this time of their life we don't treat them well and educate them, then they might become problems in our society later on in life.
This is also the first winter these refugees from Africa will be spending in Canada, so the volunteers have also asked for winter secondhand clothing.
After we have passed it out, we can then ask the individual families to see what else they need.
Tzu Chi volunteers unite to make sure these refugees feel right at home in Canada. In Malaysia, 17 teachers from a refugee school in Selayang visited the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur Jingsi Hall for the first time. Tzu Chi Teachers Association held a tea gathering to share teaching methods to help improve the quality of teaching for the refugee children.
17 teachers from a refugee school in Selayang visit Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur Jingsi Hall. Tzu Chi Teachers Association and these teachers exchange views on teaching during this tea gathering.
Our teachers only focus on teaching and looking after students at school, but in today's class, the volunteers showed them how to improve our methods. Then our teachers will see how the outside influences can improve their teaching jobs.
With a different mode of exchange, these school teachers realize the spirit of education through different activities.
Ropes are like the teachers and balls are like the kids. If we teachers don't set ourselves as examples, the kids will copy everything they see.
This tea gathering is just the beginning because the volunteers invite the teachers to join the events of the Tzu Chi Teachers Association.
We asked them if they would be interested in joining a teaching of Jingsi aphorism event held by the Tzu Chi Teachers Association in November. We didn't anticipate their enthusiastic response to the invitation.
Tzu Chi and this refugee school in Selayang have been working together for years. They are very concerned about the education for the refugee children and hope to improve the teachers' quality of teaching through exchanges like this one.
Tzu Chi volunteer Shen Wenzhen's parents passed away one after the other, and he always regretted he did not get to spend enough time with them. To fulfill his filial piety duties, he has been caring for his mother-in-law just like he would his own mother.
Businessman Shen Wenzhen is reading despite his busy schedule, as this is a way for him to be closer to Buddhism.
After I read Master Yin Shun's book, I have a different understanding about the words in the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. Master Zheng Yin's books are very easy to understand. Every story in her books is inspiring.
For years, Shen has been following Master Zheng Yin in doing good deeds. But not many people know that when he was young, his family had to toil very hard by farming. Whenever he recalls the hard work his mother did, he chokes with tears.
She didn't want me to work. She told me that I was still young, so she'd shoulder it for me. I could tell she had been exhausted and couldn't stand up straight, but she simply kept going.
Shen always regrets that his parents died early because of sicknesses, and he couldn't spend enough time with them. Therefore, he has been caring for his 91-year-old mother-in-law for years.
I really hugged my mom very tight and told her that I'm leaving the country and you should take care of yourself.
My son-in-law is the best. You can't find anyone as excellent as him in the world.
Shen's wife, Gan Meihua, was certified as a Tzu Chi volunteer in 1987, several years earlier than him.
He understands that as a team leader, I have to accompany and give to my teammates. After he participated more and more, he understood Tzu Chi better, and now we are walking on the same Bodhisattva path.
Showing the master's commitment, Sun also invites his employees to volunteer.
When they go to work on something without pay, they will realize a different value of life. After he returns to the company and gets paid for the work he does, his joy on his work will appear different. The power that changed them will be the greatest force in society.
Sun believes that when people's goodness is inspired, it can become a great force in changing society.
In our next report, we meet 4 New Shoot Scholarship recipients from the same family in Kaohsiung. When Tzu Chi volunteers discovered their house was in a terrible condition, they knew they must provide the family with a more comfortable living environment.
On this morning, the 4 children of the Lim family are not only helping to move and pack the produce, but they also help out at the orchard. Besides being the best helpers, their academic performances are never a worry to their mother. What surprised many is that these 4 New Shoot Scholarship recipients have been studying in this poor environment. With no sunlight shining in and the walls not painted, the children can only rely on the lights above and the only desk in their home to study.
Some of them study in their rooms while others in the living room. They make good use of their time to study.
All of them have gotten used to living in the dark, but the dark interior has troubled the family.
During the Chinese New Year holidays, some of their classmates came to our home to help put up spring couplets. They said our home was very dark and reminded them of a haunted house. I was very upset when I heard that.
This mother has 5 children. Each of their rooms is very small. They don't have beds and their blankets are very old. The walls of their rooms are not painted.
Volunteers let the children choose their favorite colors to paint the house. They chose pearl white for the living room and apple green for their rooms.
We just want to form a good affinity with them. They didn't paint their house probably because they didn't know their interior would be brighter if they paint the walls. This is good for the children's eyes.
More than 10 volunteers help paint the walls. Even the children of the family also join this effort. On the other end, some volunteers are building a large bed and putting in wooden floorings.
I hope when they grow up in the future, they can repay society just like Tzu Chi volunteers.
With Tzu Chi's assistance, the Lim family finally radiates smiles all around, and they can now live in a brighter and more comfortable environment.
As the San Bueng Kiong Temple in Malacca, Malaysia held their celebration, Tzu Chi volunteers also participated to promote environmental conservation. We'll leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us today. Goodbye.